Hello everyone, Ishani here. If you're new to my channel, welcome and I would love if you'd subscribe to it. Today I have a very interesting video for you which showcases some silhouette card techniques. I kept my cards clean and simple. Let's just get to work and see the basic way of doing silhouette stamping with solid stamps. If you've come via AA Cards Challenge, you know we are playing with one layer cards. So for the first card, I've taken a top folding white colored card base. I've chosen a solid stamp. This one is by Visible Images called Jazz It Up. And I have this acetate sheet which was a scrap piece but is very useful for masking or as a palette for my inks and watercolors. With blending brush and squeezed lemonade distress oxide, I'm going to make a focus light like how we have it on stages. I check the size of a musician and blend my color with a heavy hand on the top and then fading at the bottom. After this, I stamp my image, for which I'm taking out my dirty stamping platform. You could use your clean platform, but because stamping with stamping block may not come very crisp on the first go, it is preferred that you use a stamping platform. So now coming to some experimenting, mostly I've seen silhouette stamping in black, but I wanted to try brown. So I used this brown color from one of my Altenew inks. And when I stamp with it, it looks cool. But I thought it was too light. And then I take a grey ink and stamp over the brown image. And yes, it looks better. So what if I stamp again? I stamp again with the same grey ink. And yes, I'm very happy. It is not jet black and it does give some interest with browns peeping out and looks interesting. For the sentiment, I'm using a stamp from MFT's Boss Babe stamp set and I stamp it with black ink in the center. And here you have a very quick, I think one of the quickest cards ever, and simple and very clean masculine card. Isn't it cool? I really like it and it fits so many occasions. So now with the basic technique of silhouette stamping done, let's go on to some other cool techniques. What if you were a new card maker and a beginner and did not have solid stamps? How can you make silhouette cards then? Let's see how you can make your own solid stamps. This card again is going to be a one layer card. I've taken a heavy cardstock that can withstand a little bit of watercoloring and I'm going to do some acrylic block stamping for it. I start with taking an acrylic block which is small in size and will be the focal point of my card. I'm using yellow, pink and orange distress inks for the sunset scene. You could also take water-based markers and apply them on the acrylic block and spritz it with water like I'm doing now and then place the block on the paper. I'm only using half of the acrylic block because I do not want all my colors to mix and get muddy. So we will patiently let these colors dry and then start over with the water of my scene. I let it be like this for a minute or so and then take off the acrylic block. I blot off the excess ink and because the pink doesn't look very vibrant, I apply distress ink in pink and in yellow again, spritz it with water and place over the same area again and put pressure over it. And then when I remove, it looks better for the sunset scene at the ocean. After the yellow and pinks have dried, for the water, I am using violet and blue distress inks. I apply them on few places of the acrylic block and again using only half of it, spritz it with water, wipe off the excess and let the colors get absorbed on the paper. I apply force with my finger. You could put something heavy on it, but I didn't have anything heavy around that I could place over in my site. With the brush, I move the colors a little bit, and I'm not going to worry much about it because the silhouette image is going to be placed in a way that it covers the horizon. I'm taking the Simon Says stamp dolphin, which will be the silhouette image, as one of the scenes that comes to my mind when I think of silhouette photographs and scenes are pictures of dolphins jumping over the water in those National Geographic videos. I'm using a waterproof black ink and I stamp my dolphin. And it's time to make it a silhouette stamp by filling in the lines with a black marker. You could use any waterproof marker, and some of my more organizational skills is that I could not find my acrylic brush marker, so I'm using the thinnest pen I had around for coloring inside the image. Please use a good broad marker because it will make your life easier to fill in the gap. And here is the silhouette image ready. Doesn't it look like a silhouette stamp itself? For the sentiment, I'm using another Simon Says stamp set and stamping it with the black ink overlapping my focal image. And here again is a one layer silhouette scene, now without a solid stamp. And I must tell you, I used to dread one layer cards once upon a time, and now I'm here showing you how I do it. I remember one of my card making friends, Trina Pham, once told me it only needs practice. And yes, she was right. I did a similar card which was not very clean and simple, which I will link to here if you would like to see more examples of such silhouette cards. Coming to the last card, I'm making a silhouette card with my stencils. I've taken a white card base and a scrap paper which I've torn to give some cool edge. And with a blender brush and Distress Oxide inks, I'm going to make some dimensions in the sky by being heavy on the sides and light on the center of the paper with my Distress Oxide inks. So I've got squeezed lemonade, and then I go with wilted violet, then I use picked raspberry and play around with the same colors for the upper part of the sky. Then I come in with cracked pistachio and salty oceans at the bottom. And after I finish with all the colors, I take a waterproof black ink and not a Distress Oxide or Distress ink, because I think a waterproof ink is more opaque. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. And with that around two of my edges, I really am very happy with the way this background has turned out. And let's go ahead and add the silhouette image. I'm taking a stencil by Stamplorations. I have the links to the supplies in the description box, and I love the fact that the stencil has masks, which helps me to color without the danger of the color getting on other flowers, because this is black ink and really it is risky to use this ink without a mask. I go ahead and sponge through the flowers, and I'm using a thin brush for this, which I've actually dedicated to the black ink because I use it quite often for stenciling. And after my flowers are done, now is the time for the sentiment. But I also decide to give my images a little more defined look. First, for the places where the ink has not come very nicely, I use a black pencil and fill in the gaps. And then for the more defined look, I take a black pen and go around the edges of the flower to define the outlines. For the sentiment, I am using a stamp from a retired stamp set by Your Next Stamp. It is Thanks a Bunch, and I stamp it with black ink at the center of the card. To finish off the card, I adhere it with foam tape on a side folding black colored note card, and here is a beautiful silhouette card ready with a stencil. I hope you like this technique and will try it yourself and not just depend on solid stamps for making silhouette cards. I hope you would also like to try these techniques. Please let me know which is the one you would like to try for the next card that you make. Thank you once again for watching and reminding you to subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed to it yet. Every new subscriber means so much. Take care and happy crafting. Bye bye.